welcome back to my channel. My name is Saf and I love all things home decor, DIY, and recently renovation and makeovers. So if you saw last week's episode, we started our kitchen renovation, and that episode was mostly just us getting rid of demoing and getting rid of all the plaster on all the walls. Not all the walls, we're keeping one of the walls, and we do have other plans for it, but that's for later. For now, we got rid of all the walls that need to be tiled, and basically we just had a blank space for the tile person to come in and start the job. Now, I don't feel super comfortable filming other people, so I don't have tons of footage of that. For anyone who's interested, I thought I would explain a little bit how the process is done. This is a quite old method of tiling, I believe. So basically, the tile person puts the tiles against the wall, but there has to be a gap. Everything needs to be super level. They make a runny mixture of cement and sand, and they pour it behind the tile. This way, the tiles are stuck to the wall using concrete. So the tile is done. For the most part, there's like tiny pieces that need to be installed. The floor is done. The electricals aren't done yet, and actually the kitchen opening used to have a door. That little area is for the AC, but there used to be a door here, and we actually decided to remove it completely, and I decided to put in an arch. So yeah, today someone's coming here to do the arch and just fix all these little areas that the plaster was damaged. Once those are done and the ceiling is cleaned, electricals are done, and that little area is done, I think we'll be done with the first stage. And again, for the art, from what I saw, what I learned, for anyone interested, is that he poured some plaster on a surface on the ground. He had something like a plastic on the floor. He poured the plaster. It was completely dry. He just cut out the arch, exact measurements of the wall, and he actually cut two of these arches, and he stuck them to the wall using more plaster mixed with cement, I think. And then I think you can see there was a gap between the two layers. He then cut small pieces and stuck those to fill in the little gap at the bottom between the two sides, and then used more plaster to make it one solid piece, if that makes sense. And then when that was done, we actually had to wait. I don't exactly remember, because this kitchen renovation has been in the process for over 3 months now, close to 4 months, I think. So all this happened way back a couple months ago. But I think we had to wait about 2 weeks for the first layer of the plaster to dry completely. And then they could come in and do the second layer. So in the meantime, we decided to do all the things that we could do ourselves. And one of them was our window stone ledge thing. Actually, our tile person was supposed to do it, but being the DIYers that we are, my husband and I decided to do it ourselves. We asked him for some guidance, which didn't really help. You'll see in a minute. Okay, so updates on the kitchen. Our windows don't have a ledge right now. This is the stone that we were supposed to use as the ledge. Don't ask me why it's in two pieces. I wasn't there when they cut it and delivered it, and this is what it looks like. It's okay though, we're gonna be changing it. And as you can see, right now it's flush with the wall and the end of the window, and that area is gonna be fixed. it was supposed to come higher out here, so it was gonna cover all that. But the problem is that when we measured it, our tile person told us to measure, basically how wide the window was and just buy the stone, and then we would be able to put our cabinets here, and the countertop was gonna be sitting here, basically. Be almost flush. We asked him to do the ledge ourselves, and I'm so glad we did, because I'll show you right now. We put them up and we were like, let's just measure it and just make sure it's level. So as you can see now, I have this tool. If I put this tool here, you can see that corner at the very end is flush, but then we have all this gap here, and then the other side of the room is flush as well. So if you put the cabinets here, this is gonna be where our countertop is gonna be, and then we're gonna have all this gap here. So what I'm thinking is that we're not gonna put the stone here. We're gonna bring it further towards this side, and then not have a straight piece of stone, like make it make sense with the way the room is, like bring that corner more towards the inside. Maybe this corner doesn't need to be outside this much, things like that, to make it flush with this tool, which means that eventually it's going to be flush with our countertop. So we're gonna get new stone for the window, and yeah, we're gonna do different measurements this time. And now you see, if we move the stone and bring it this way towards the inside of the room, this is gonna be flush. And then when we get here, we're gonna have a gap here. It's a pretty large gap, but then that corner is flush. We're gonna have to do something about it for this area. I do have some ideas. Now, I don't know how good I can show you, because this thing is quite heavy actually. Oh, and by the way, my husband has already started building the cabinets. So now, when we put this here, as you can see, it's absolutely flush. There's no gaps. When we get to this little area here, we're gonna have a gap. Obviously, there's about like 2 centimeters, and our countertop is gonna be basically, something like this, where it's flush with the stone here, but it's not flush with the wall. But I think we have a solution for that, so that's gonna wait. But what I'm gonna be doing today is fill in these gaps, because there was a mistake in the measurements of the tiles and the window, so we ended up with this large gap. But I don't mind it, because it's just gonna be behind the cabinets and no one's gonna see that. But I'm gonna fix them. Arch is complete, and I couldn't be happier. It's looking super duper smooth. We still have to get an AC vent cover for that corner, and we need to cover that little electrical box thing. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I wanted the arch to be thicker, so it covered all of this wall. I don't know how to explain it, but I wanted it to be flush with this wall here. He told us when you're using plaster, you're not really supposed to have that thick of a wall. So we did end up having this little situation here, but it doesn't bother me. I think it's looking super nice. And it is the only arch that we have at the house, but I'm thinking maybe we can have another arch somewhere else, maybe on our hood cover, or I don't know, in the living room maybe. But for now, I'm really happy with this one. Next week's episode is the one I'm the most excited about. We're going to be choosing our cabinet doors, the color of our cabinet. We're going to be choosing hardware, faucet. So make sure to come back next week to see those. I really hope to see you again. Bye.